I think it makes my work much more easier because I do have a slide, but based on what you've shared like a part of what I'm meant to discuss. I'll just go into like some other parts that I could add on based on what you have said. Please, can you confirm that everyone can see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Awesome. Let me just go straight to the point. I'll move very fast. I need to introduce myself. Just to re-echo something that Dr. Sai said earlier, I want to start with giving some form of statistics. According to a recent research by STEM Women, there's an organization called STEM Women. Women now make up to 26% of the STEM workforce. And just to emphasize, physical sciences, for example, has like 40-something%. Mathematical sciences, the numbers are rising. Engineering and tech computer, those are around less than between 20 and 25. So the cumulative effects of these four different sciences or these four different STEM field makes the average number drop to like 26%. And if we talk about engineering and tech and computer science, to be precise, those two numbers are still dialing between 15% and 25%. I always say this is a 6-9 situation, 6-9 situation in the sense that somebody is in 6, somebody is in 9, somebody is in 6 and they are scared that, hey, blah, blah, blah. Just to give like a brief of my story and how I got into engineering. I'm grateful to one of my school teacher who just observed that I loved math normally, but I mean, I don't know where I got the idea of I wanted to be a medical doctor from. By the way, I have no issues with medical doctor. I have so many medical doctor friends. Shout out to them. I love the amazing work they are doing in that field. But nobody ever encouraged me to do like tech or math and all of those things. So I remember my teacher telling me, hey, I think you'll be good in engineering or computer science. And this story is a story of maybe 10, 11 years ago, and I'm like, God forbid bad thing. I'll not be a tomboy. I'll now be this. Those were the kind of responses I was giving him. I remember the day pretty well. I remember where I was. I was at his office then. But, and I say 6-9 situation because I am seeing the percentage that, so I'll not be part of the small 21%. God forbid, I don't want that. But again, there is another person is seeing 9 in the sense that, oh, there's a huge gap. We can bridge this gap and increase this number. So I want you to see a 9 today. I don't want you to see a 6. I want you to see a 9 because I want you to see a huge gap that you can feel, meaning that there's a place for you, I, and every woman on this call who is aspiring to be in the STEM field. I don't want you to see a 6 and say, no, let me just, since there are not a lot of women there, let me just stay on. Let me just stay on my own. I don't want stress. It's going to be hard for me to break in and all of those things. So I'm not showing you this chart to scare you. I'm only showing you this chart to encourage you that, my ladies, they're like, the space is wide. There are a lot of things that each one of us on this call can do and can play in the STEM field. I'll move faster. And I put this slide here in particular to speak to the male allies we have on the call, and even specifically to even some of us women that don't even understand that this diversity people are speaking about. Why is it important? Because sometimes I hear my male folks come talk to me and they're like, blah, blah, blah. They saw an opportunity for women only, or women are enjoying, and they use those kind of things. And I'm like, and I sometimes remind them this data, that this is where we have my brother. That is why you see opportunities that maybe women only, scholarship, women only. But back to this, there's something I read some years back. I don't remember what automobile industry now. They were trying to produce a new brand of car. And when they were doing like the testing of the car, they tested mostly with men because, of course, in the automobile industry, you expect, like, or car manufacturing industry, you expect more of male folks than female folks. So they only had male folks to test, did the testing. So what they tested was if there is an accident and when there's an accident, the car airbag comes out. Okay, let's be sure that the car airbag, I'm trying to paraphrase what I remember that I read online some years back. When the airbag comes out, blah, 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 it saves people from accidents, blah, blah, blah. By the time the company manufactured the car, of course, they'll produce in maybe thousands or millions of quantity. Cars that always have accidents, or that brand of car that ended up having an accident, they realized that the male folks came out safe and the female folks always died. And when they went back to research, they realized that the woman body and the male body is very different. When this company was testing for airbag, the safety of airbag in preserving people's life, they only tested with men. They did not test with women. So women that drove that car and unfortunately find themselves in accidents, the airbag was not designed to protect them. I mean, by the way, the company didn't do it intentionally. It was just an oversight from their hand. But I'm just citing that example to say that is why diversity is very important in a team, especially gender diversity, because it helps to foster creativity and innovation. It leads to better problem solving. By the way, my ladies, just so you know, STEM occupations are among the highest paying occupations we have. And we talk about, we want to help address wealth inequalities. I mean, one of the ways to address that is getting more women in STEM. And I can say a lot about this. Talking about AI, machine learning, all of these fall under STEM. And I'm glad that Dr. Sayi already broke down STEM for us. So I won't have to go into that. So a diverse STEM workforce is essential for maintaining long-term economic growth and global competitiveness. I would like to move forward pretty fast because I know I have I think 15 minutes and I want to touch on as many slides as I can. Dr. Sayi also already gave some career path in STEM. There's data science and analytics. See, for example, clinical data science, clinical data managers. So I intentionally brought out this fact because I've heard people say, okay, right now I'm studying laboratory science, but I still want to do tech. One thing I want you to know is STEM, tech, math, all of these things. Let me pick tech and math in particular. You can actually apply them to almost any other thing we have these days. I can give an example. My eldest sister is a pharmacist. I remember when she was going for grad school. I remember when a professor sent her an email saying he wanted her to learn Python, pharmacy, Python. I'm saying that now people are having to learn how to code in the pharmaceutical industry. I have a friend who is presently doing his PhD in chemistry. I remember before he left Nigeria as well, his professor told him to learn her language. That is another example. One very interesting one, I remember meeting this woman. She works in one of the oil and gas firms in Nigeria. We're just having a random chat, and she was saying how a company wanted everyone to learn data science. I was part of their personal developments, whatever, to get promotion. If you've not passed a specific data analytics course, you're not going to move forward. So I'm saying that even tech and math, regardless of what you're studying these days, education, you're studying guidance and counseling, you want to crunch data, munch data. And I promise you, these things are not, they sound like big English, but I'm not here to scare anybody. These things are not as big English as we think. I remember one of my senior friends sharing how she got a job. She's in the UK now, and she was sharing how she got a job. And this will make you laugh because companies just want to be sure that you are applying the knowledge you have. They don't need you to say, hey, I did something that helped 1 billion. I mean, if you have those things, good for you. It makes maybe you getting a job more easier. But if you want to see how you've applied little learnings. And then she shared how, during an interview, she shared how she had a bakery business where she was baking wedding cakes, birthday cakes, and all of those things. And she just created an Excel sheet such that she wanted to make it's a one-man team. She doesn't have staffs. She wanted to make a cake making whatever very fast. And so she created an Excel sheet such that if somebody said, I want a 3-layer level cake, okay, I will need five Congos of flowers. If I need 5 Congos of flowers or 5 derica of flour, I don't know what is being measured. Okay, that means that we need 2 pints of salt, 2 pints of this, 1 nutmeg, 1 yeast, all of those things. So she created an automated, this Excel sheet, not even coding anything, such that based on the quantity of flour she needs, the Excel sheet will populate itself and let her know the quantity of other different ingredients she might need. And that was how she got a job in a tech company. She didn't tell them, she has never written code before. She didn't tell them all of those things. She only told them how she maximized the simple things that she's learning and how she's applying them to make her work faster. There's engineering. Dr. Sayi spoke a lot about that. Even in the financial services, whatever you're doing right now, not even necessarily fintech, anything finance, yeah, the accountants, everything, math and tech is beginning to enter these things a lot. And the research and academia, which is where Dr. Sai plays, it's a very important field. We need more women in research and academia. And these are just some of the examples of so many fields that you can be in. I also now want to talk about some growing fields and emerging opportunities, which I choose to believe that some of us are aware. There's data science, there's cybersecurity, there's AI. Again, I beg of you, this thing sounds like big English, like, hey, what is this? I don't want anyone to be scared. The good thing is I feel like we are very fortunate in this generation compared to like some 30 people that were giving birth to some 30, 40, 50 years ago. Tech has made our lives easier. I mean, all you have to do is to maybe ask a ChatGPT or a Gemini or a co-pilot, hey, explain cybersecurity to me like a 1-year-old. It explains it to you. If I am to learn cybersecurity, what are the things I need? You don't even necessarily need a mentor. I'll get to the mentorship part, but I'm saying that tech has made our lives easier where almost every information you need, or at least the basic level of guidance you need, you can get it. So data science, cybersecurity, AI, these fields are driving like innovation across industries, and they are expected to see at least 20% growth in the next 10 years. There's one example I always love to start with when it comes to emerging field, and that's why I brought this. I'll say this very fast. Lily and the team, please let me know when my time is up, by the way. Please just nudge me and I would keep mute. I like this example a lot. Many years ago, maybe 150 years ago, I don't have the right numbers now. Typewriting was a thing. Like if you're a typewriter where you have that thing, if you have that thing, like, and some of us had our grandparents that were typewriters with that machine where if you had the typewriter, you are the tech bro of that time. If you had a typewriter, you are like the tech bro, tech sis of that time. But guess what? Computer came, and instead of people to pivot, because I never got to use a typewriter, by the way. But let's be honest, at least what I see of a typewriter, it has like the keys, and the keys are on a computer. All you have to do is maybe just learn how to turn on a computer, how to open Microsoft Words, all of those things. Instead of people to start learning the emerging technology then, the emerging technology then was computer, Windows, we're like, no, I'm chief in my society, in my village, I'm the chief Kiniko of Typewriter Association. Typewriter has come to stay. I just want to tell you guys that we're in a world where there's so many emerging tech coming up, and you have to keep your ears down. Don't be too rigid. Don't be too rigid in your mindset and say, hey, is this thing I know? I will stay with this thing. I'm not saying be a what's that thing? Bird, something of many birds, master of none. I'm mixing things together, but where you know so many things, but you are not a master of anything. I'm not saying that, but these emerging technologies, don't like play a deaf hair. Listen, do research, ask questions, be interested in what is going on. How does this apply to my field right now? How does this apply to the future of my field right now? Almost every year, even as I'm always online, besides I'm always looking forward to World Economic Forum, their prediction of future of career. I always read that almost every year because I don't want to find myself stuck. I want to know what is like the new thing. Again, somebody will sit and be scared, me, yeah, my job, oh. No, you have to read those things not to get you scared. You have to have that information to help you know how would I position my life? How would I position my career? I don't see those things and say, out of the top 10 future of work, my own is not there. You shouldn't see it from a scary perspective. Okay, which of these top 10 looks like what I'm similar to what I'm presently? Now can I pivot or renovate my career to align with whatever growing emerging tech opportunity or STEM opportunity exists? Let me move forward. I feel like Dr. Saya has given like a good background. I want to say what I would say developing a global mindset. And I say developing a global mindset because like Dr. Asai mentioned, I also read through some of the questions that you guys already asked as questions you have for this webinar. And that's why the rest of this webinar for me on my presentation, I'll talk about developing a global mindset, and it's going to address all of the questions or some of the questions you have asked, and every other question you have, please feel free to ask me after. If you want me to share my story, I can always share after. Number one, some of you asked, okay, I want to move, how do I make that pivot? What do I do, and all of those things? I would be a big liar if I say I am self-made. You will never hear me go out there to say, I learned everything on my own. No, me, I'm just a great girl, I'm just smart, I'm just brilliant. I even always tell my friends, like even when people come and say, Temilade, how did you graduate with a first class? Mechanical engineering is hard. I'm very grateful to God for the first class, but I had a supportive network in school, because at some point I was genuinely so tired or overwhelmed. I wanted to give up on finishing with the first class. But thanks to my supportive network, at every stage of my life or of my career, even up till now, I've always had a supportive network. Mostly from my family, but I also have friends. I also acknowledge the fact that yes, some people might not be privileged to get support from like people who are very close to them, which is like their family. I've made so many friends, physical friends, virtual friends. Friends have been friends for like over 5 years. We've never seen ourselves, and we've been like great support network to one another. I will start with mentorship and I'll start with association. And when I say mentorship opportunities, mentorship, sometimes people think just mean, okay, go and send an email to Dr. Sai after this call, say, be my mentor, send an email to Lily, be my mentor. Those things are good, but let's be honest, Dr. Sai and Lily, they're very busy people. Everybody is busy. Like, we have different aspects of our lives. I'm not stopping you from shooting your shot, because I've shot those shots and some of them have worked for me. I think the point I'm trying to make is, even with your colleagues, we have like horizontal mentorship and we have like vertical mentorship. Don't underestimate anybody. Don't think that, oh, I beg, I just need advice from those big people. My mates might not know what's going on. You might be shocked that you guys have like similar problems that you already have answers to, and they'll be able to help you. Every opportunity for mentorship, please take it, either horizontal mentorship with your friends and loved ones, and if you have the opportunity to have like a vertical mentorship, the good thing is there are so many organizations, so many, that are doing like mentorship for women. Some of you are even so lazy to even apply and put in like a very good application. Hey, things are very competitive out there. If you really want it very bad, you will give it like your very best. Where even if they reject you, you smile and say, even if they rejected me, I knew that I gave this essay my best shot. So please, I would say that look out for mentorship program. Again, a simple Google search, a simple Gemini search, a simple ChatGPT search. Hey, connect, are there mentorship program you think I should apply to? Kindly share the link of some or something. And it's going to like give you some form of direction. Also associations. When I was still in like, now that I'm in the US, I'm saying college, and I'm still in the university, I was in a lot of associations, women in engineering, IEEE, Society of Women Engineers, Women Tech Makers, Google Developers Group. I was in a lot of professional associations, and those professional associations really helped my life. This is SWIS. SWIS Africa is bringing this to you. There are so many professional associations, and don't just join, be an active participant. Ask them how you can volunteer. When they have webinars, join. When they post things, talk about it, repost, talk about what you've learned. Don't just join and be very inactive. I recently moved to like a new city, and I knew that, girl, I needed like associations. Immediately I got here, based on the next phase of my career, of what I wanted, I've already joined like some of the associations that I think would be beneficial to me in this new city. And so please, associations are very important. Some of them you could just join virtually. They might never have physical meetup. What is very important is, are you learning? Are you growing? Are you being challenged? Are you getting the necessary guidance you need for the next stage of your life? Also, now I want to talk about skills and visibility. Excuse me, please. People have asked me questions. I studied mechanical engineering. How did I end up at Google as a product marketer? How am I even doing an MBA? And a mechanical, so sorry for sniffing my notes. Can a mechanical engineer have an MBA? So many interesting questions people have asked me. I'll be honest with you. I still have the video of my phone when I did my last mechanical engineering exam. Like, hey, if I see billboard, I will not read. I will not read billboard. I'm done with school, but I'm learning over time that lifelong learning is very important. Because we are just in an interesting time of the world where like things are moving like very fast. You have to like be curious, you have to be hungry, you have to be thirsty to want to learn. So when I was done with school, I knew I didn't want to practice engineering. And it was honestly a very personal reason, not like maybe engineering scarred me, or maybe I felt I was having imposter syndrome. I actually even published my final year thesis. So I have like a published paper in engineering. I feel like, will I end up picking it? I don't know, but let me not digress. My point is, people have asked me what happened. Some people maybe I even failed the engineering school. I didn't fail. It was just like a personal decision for me to want to like pivot to tech. I mean, engineering, tech, everything is still STEM. When I knew I wanted to pivot, I started taking additional trainings and certifications. And that goes back to what Dr. Sai said. She mentioned a couple of like platforms, Udacity, Udemy, Khan. Gosh, the level of the certifications I took between 2020 and 2021, me safe, my Gmail knew that I tried because I knew I wanted to pivot. Yes, I was done with mechanical engineering school, but I needed that thing called continued education or continued learning. Because for me, it will help you boost your confidence, to open you up for career opportunities. After working for 4, 5, 6 years post bachelor's, I knew that I think for where I see my career going or what I'm interested in right now, I think MBA is the next phase. I always tell my friends, like, hey, don't be shocked if in under 10 years you see me doing a PhD. No, one thing I know about myself is I do things I'm very deliberate. I just don't do things I just feel like doing it. I mean, who has time to just feel like doing education? Education is hard. So, but I was very deliberate about every step I took. And I want you to also see education that way. Be curious, read books outside of what you know. Read a book that will scatter your head, and you have to, for every sentence you read, you are going to Google what is the meaning of what is the meaning of. So please, I'm a big advocate of continued education. It doesn't have to mean like you going to like a formal school, if it's virtual. And I did try virtual education. I considered doing my MBA virtually. It didn't work for me. I wasn't getting the benefit out of it, and I had to stop. So whatever works for you, whatever continued education works for you, please go for it. Self-promotion. This is something that we women suck at. Even me, that I'm even speaking to you, I promise you, there are so many things that I've just been like very quiet about. But I've learned that, do you know how many millions, I said millions, pardon me, billions of people exist in this world? I mean, don't just think you are special in your room and maybe one miracle will just happen and somebody will just hear the amazing work you are doing. You have to self-promote your work. And there was a time I was subtly aggressive with self-promotion, and honestly, it helped my career. I always say these are not from a place of bragging. I strongly believe there's God's grace, and I always give God all the glory back for all the amazing things that's happened in my life. But even God even said we should work and pray, not just pray, pray, pray and expect like a miracle. And one of the work you can do for yourself is self-promotion. Self-promotion for me, I remember when I finished school, I'll do a lot of, hey, I just finished mechanical engineering, first class. Hey, I just went to this conference, I learned ABC. Hey, I just finished this course, here is my certification, blah, blah, blah. The 3, 4 places of work I worked post college, I said it with all form of humility and thanks to God. I'm not trying to brag. People actually reached out to me on their own. LinkedIn is my own self-promotion platform. I don't know how to self-promote on Twitter. I'm very scared on Twitter. I'm very shy on Instagram as well. My Instagram is Vibes and Cruise. My Twitter is to be retweeting what people say, but my LinkedIn, I'm very deliberate about it. That's my own way of advocating for myself. My first job, the CEO of the company reached out to me, connected me to the HR, did the interview. My second job, my then manager reached out to me on her own. I don't know who referred her to me. I don't know what she saw about me. My Google job, Google reached out to me on LinkedIn as well. So please do a lot of self-promotion. This is not the time and season to be shy. I mean, people will mock you, people will make jest of you. I've heard people say, I don't even understand how LinkedIn works. I don't understand. All you have to do is start. People think that people say everything is aspire to perspire and Nike, do it now, all of those things. All to aspire to perspire, they work for me. Literally, I just close my eyes and say, Temilade, press send, press send. I press send. I close my phone, I close my laptop because I'm scared what people say, what most comments be like. I promise you, for every post I make on Instagram or on LinkedIn or on Twitter, I'm always very scared. I always have those thoughts. I'm not going to lie to you. Not like I just confidently post that, oh, I'm a pro. Let me just post that LinkedIn. I just press post. I close my eyes, close my laptop, distract myself for 24 hours, and then come back and I say, okay, people did find maybe my conversation or my thought insightful or something. So please self-promote yourself. Nobody is going to do it for you. I mean, the good thing is the goal is for us to be lucky and find ourselves in companies where maybe we have managers and all of those people who are interested in promoting us. But even in a corporate world, you have to promote yourself. Nobody is going to be there to pat you in the back and say, okay, good job, good job. You have to promote yourself. Send an email. Hey, I did this, I did this, I did that. But I think I've dwelled too much on this. I need to move. Lily, please let me know when my time is up. I'm addressing imposter syndrome. I feel like everybody, perhaps I've been privileged to speak to people with concern, like, oh, big people, the the bangba people. I've had conversations with them. Everybody at one form or the other in their lives would have cold feet. Even the people we respect, the public speakers. I think it's just a normal human feeling. I mean, over time, the more you speak, the more you get better, not being scared and all of those things. But one of the things that's really, really, really worked for me, awesome, thank you, Lily. One of the things that's really, really, really worked for me is affirmations. Hey, if they say queen of affirmations, I am the queen of affirmations. Like I talk to myself. I maybe that's why I love mirrors. I don't know. I talk to myself. Temilade, you are a star girl. Temilade, you are a big deal. Temilade, people hear you. People you talk and people want to listen to you. Temilade this. Temilade just you might call it feel good. I mean, whatever works. I prefer to delulu myself than to by delulu, I mean being delusional, than to fill myself with so many negative thoughts that will cripple me from taking like the next step. I prefer to be delusional. Ultimately, a big deal. I'm having a bad day, or maybe somebody just sends an email that is not so good, and I'm crying like, oh, all the hard work. I'm like, okay, I clean my tears, clean my everything. I'm like, I'm a big deal. This is just a phase. I can dream it. I can do it. Please, those things have worked for me. Some people say it's aspire to perspire, whatever. It has always worked for me. I'm very big on like positive affirmations. There was a time in my previous room where on my mirror, everything, so many things just to gas yourself up. There's one thing I always tell my friends. It's a popular song that some of us might know in Nigeria. If they're not ginger, you ginger yourself. Don't always have to wait for people to ginger you. Ginger yourself. Whatever gingering yourself. And of course, please, I don't mean getting high on alcohol or getting high on hard drugs. Please, those things are not permitted. Like ginger yourself with words, like encourage yourself, like tell yourself like good things, and then the more you feel good about yourself, the more confidence you have. I mean, the more confidence you have, and the more you are able to like address imposter syndrome. Also, support group, very important. Have friends that would support you, and the way these things people have asked me, you have good friends, this one, that one. I'm like, I have good friends because I'm a good person. I'm not just collecting from them, I'm also giving. I'm giving support, I'm giving gifts, I'm being kind to them. When they need me, I'm there. When I need them, they are there. So please have your support group as well. It might take a while to get your support group. Don't be too stressed over it. Please have your support group. My time is moving fast, so I want to like touch on, I called this necessary soft skills because I want to remind us that the hard skills is important, how to solve math, how to solve engineering equations. One of the things that I've observed that has made people, your hard skills can get you to the door, the soft skills will make you stay, where people would like you, because it's a world where likability is very important. Your manager has to like you, your colleague has to like you. So I go to like necessary soft skills, emotional intelligence. I don't want to, because of time, I'll just move very fast. There's been empathy. Your colleague is not at work. It takes like a, what's the word? Just I want to check on you. Like some things are just like, so I'll use the word, some things we even call emotional intelligence are things that I would call, in quotes, common sense. Like just have like the common sense to like know when to shut up, know when to speak, know when to not speak, know when to give like a very hard, know when to give a hard feedback, know when to shut up. Those are like examples I would call like emotional intelligence. There's self-awareness, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and Dr. Syed touched on that. See, not everybody would be a mathematician, not everybody would be an engineer. There are so many aspects of STEM. Pick the one that works for you. Be very self-aware. Which one works for your strength, your weaknesses, and things you're passionate about. I think my time is up. That's what Lily is trying to tell me. Curiosity. Please have a learning mindset and always ask yourself why. Gosh, if I ever write a book, if I ever write it, because I've never nursed the idea of writing one, by the way, I think the title of my book will be Why, the power of why. Gosh, why is very important for every step you take in your life. Why? Ask yourself why. Why am I doing this? Am I doing it because it looks exciting on tell me about a day of your life? Like, ask yourself why you want to do what you are doing. Why is it very, just being curious? Why? Ask why. You see things that are new to you. Ask why and all of those things. Resilience. Resilience, because my dear brother and sister, the life will show you things. Because you studied engineering, finished your first class, does not mean that everything will just be good. You just be winning scholarships. Some days, you are sort of in that valley where it looks like everything is bad, things are not working. You've applied to so many scholarships. You have to learn resilience. Every great person you've seen, every great person, do your research. Because like we always say, social media, we only show you the hello, I'm glad to announce, I'm glad to announce. If you ask people the number of rejection they got before that glad to announce, you have to have a tough skin. Like, tough skin is not important, it's built over time. You really have to have a tough skin, learn how to adapt and move fast with life. LinkedIn, I've said a lot about LinkedIn. I would move I think for me, couple of things I want to challenge us. Because I don't have time, that's why I'm moving pretty fast. Let me go to general advice. You need God, whatever God means to you. Let no one deceive you. I don't believe that life is black and white. There's a part of, after working at, whatever God you serve, pray, trust God. Another advice I would give is, please do not put too much pressure on yourself. Social media has made everything. Some days you're like, my own life is not moving forward. There are those days where it looks like, I'll get to the book recommendation. I tell S663L, even though my dear brother, sister, change your name to your to your full name. Do not put too much pressure on yourself. Please take it one goal at a time. We have different learning mechanisms. You can see your friends, maybe they are grasping things very fast. One of the highlights of my university time in school was the fact that I understood what worked for me. I don't know how to read during the day. Even up to now, I'm doing my MBA. I don't know how to read during the day. I read better at night, where everywhere is quiet, where I cannot hear. So I get distracted easily. So I read better when everywhere is quiet, everybody has gone to bed, nobody is gisting or telling them, or no car is passing. I knew what worked for me. I didn't force myself to say, Lily is always in the library every day, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., which I must be in the library. It doesn't work for me. In the night, everybody has slept. That's what works for me. So please don't put too much pressure on yourself. Honestly, we're all work in progress. Even me that I'm doing, there's so many things I'm working on. So don't put so much pressure on yourself. We are honestly all work in progress. Confidence is key. Your failure, your success, own it with so much pride. I have so many failure stories I can share. Be very confident about your journey, about even some of the roadblocks you faced and how you've overcome them. Please actively seek advice and feedback. Don't be too much in your head. I guess I said you should say you're a real deal, you're a clinical. But every year, also ask people, hey, how can I get better? What do you think about me? Don't always tell yourself, I'm a big deal every time. Ask for feedback and advice too. It's good to tell yourself you're a big deal, but I'm just saying balance those things out. Don't be too much in your head. Ask for feedback and advice. You need the right people in your corner. Who are your friends? That old adage we used to read in primary school. Show me your friend, I'll tell you who you are. It still says a lot right now in life generally. Who are the people you surround yourself with? Your health is very, very, very important in all of this life race and every race we are running. Please take your health very serious. Take a break if you have to. Don't follow anybody's time clock, or they say, I remember that by age clinicon, you must be this, by age clinicon. Please leave all of those things. Leave age for age. Please, your health is very important. Whenever you have to take a break, please take that break. These are just some of the books I've read that have really spoken to me. These are books that I would always recommend. How to Win Friends and Influence People. What got you there won't get you there, meaning that you have to just keep learning. Shoe Dog. so many lessons to pick from it. I like the Nike story, The Alchemist, Atomic Habits, the Bad Blood, because I really like this book because it also shows like the effect of when you are being too success driven and you're being too delusional. That's what the book is. That's why I put it last. When you read all the good things on how to be successful, also with Bad Blood, because it's a very interesting story of a young girl, startup founder. I think she's now in prison now, if I'm not wrong. Don't be too delusional or too in your head where you want to fake it till you make it. You want to deceive people. Please, 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 please. What goes around comes around. If you deceive people to get like a high place, I promise you, it takes a while for you, whatever bubble you are in to burst, and then reality will hit. And I think, yeah, that's all from my hand for now. Thank you so much.